The phone buzzed in my jacket as I reached for a loaf of bread in the supermarket. Her name glowed on the screen, Clara, my wife. "Where are you?" Her voice was sharp, brittle, like glass about to shatter. "Aisle 12, grabbing some bread with Liam." Silence stretched too long, heavy with something unspoken. "Drop the basket. Leave now. Just walk to the exit." My hand tightened on the bread, confusion spiking. "Why? I'm not done." Her voice fractured, urgent, raw. "Please, James, just go." Liam tugged at my coat, asking if we could get chocolate spread. I barely heard him. Her tone wasn't fear. It was something else, something guarded. My gut twisted, caught between trust and doubt. As we left, I glanced back and saw a man in a gray coat slip into the aisle we'd abandoned, his face half hidden but familiar, like a ghost from a forgotten memory. That moment, that call, it was the first thread I pulled, the one that would unravel everything. That night, Clara moved through our kitchen like nothing had happened, chopping vegetables, humming softly, playing the part of a contented wife. But her hands betrayed her, trembling as she poured tea. Her eyes flickered to her phone, too quick, too often. I watched her, silent, my mind replaying her voice and that fleeting glimpse of the man in the store. It wasn't about my safety or Liam's. It was about hiding someone. I tried to bury the thought, to let routine smother it, but suspicion is a weed. Once it takes root, it chokes everything else. Her phone pinged late that night. She snatched it before I could glance at the screen, muttering, "Work." But Clara taught history at the local college. Nobody emails about ancient Rome at 1 a.m. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the house creaking softly around us. Liam slept down the hall, oblivious. But I was awake, and the call from aisle 12 was a splinter under my skin. I wouldn't let it go. I became a shadow of myself, methodical, quiet. Clara's routines became my map. When she showered, I checked her phone. Not recklessly, but with precision, like a jeweler inspecting a flawed gem. Her call logs were spotless, texts erased, gaps where conversations should have been. Her emails were mundane, her browser history sterile. But one night, I found a receipt in her coat pocket, coffee for two at a cafe I'd never heard of, dated the day of the call. It was a small thing, but it burned. I dug deeper, peeling back layers of her digital life. Bank statements showed nothing unusual, but then I found it, a hidden folder, buried in her cloud storage, locked behind a password I cracked after days of guessing. Inside were photos. A man mid-30s with a warm smile and eyes that mirrored the way Clara once looked at me. Her arm around him, their faces too close, too familiar. My reflection stared back from the screen, hollow, as if I'd already begun to disappear. The images burned into me, but I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I ordered a DNA test for Liam and me. Not because I doubted my love for him. He was my son, my heart, my shadow. But because betrayal carves deeper than bone. I needed truth, cold and unyielding. For 2 weeks, I played my part. I smiled at Clara over breakfast, held her hand at the park, read Liam bedtime stories while my insides churned. She grew careless, her lies bolder, late nights at work, vague excuses about meetings. I grew colder, my smile sharper, my patience a blade honed by rage. When the DNA results arrived, I opened the envelope alone, my hands steady. The words were stark, probability of paternity, 0%. A number that didn't flinch, didn't apologize. I folded the paper, tucked it into my coat, and waited. That evening, Clara came home, her laughter forced as she hung her scarf. I set the DNA results on the kitchen table, a single sheet of paper that carried the weight of our marriage. She frowned, confused, then picked it up. Her eyes scanned the page, and the color drained from her face. "James, please, it's not what you think." Her voice broke, words tumbling out, excuses, half-truths, please. I said nothing. Silence was my weapon, sharper than any shout. She sank to the floor, tears streaming, her hands clutching the paper, as if she could rewrite it. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she sobbed. "It was a mistake." But mistakes don't span years, don't hide in locked folders, don't erase call logs. I watched her unravel, detached, as if observing a stranger. The power had shifted, and we both knew it. The next morning, I packed her bags. I folded her clothes carefully, dresses, sweaters, the scarf she loved, each item a reminder of a life we'd built. I placed the suitcase by the door. When she walked into the kitchen, her eyes swollen, her face pale, I slid it toward her. "Leave," I said, my voice calm, final. She opened her mouth, searching for words, for leverage, but found none. "James, I can explain." I shook my head, once unyielding. "This isn't your home anymore." Her sobs filled the room, raw and jagged, the sound of someone realizing the game was over. I didn't raise my voice, didn't curse. I just watched her break, piece by piece, until she was small enough to carry her own suitcase out the door. As she left, I remembered the man in the gray coat, his face now clear in my mind, a colleague from her department, someone I'd met at a faculty dinner years ago. The truth clicked into place, sharp and final. The door closed, and the silence that followed was pure, like the first breath after drowning. Liam sat at the table, sketching a rocket ship, his small world untouched by the storm that had just passed. He looked up at me, his eyes bright, innocent. "Can we make pancakes, Dad?" I nodded, ruffling his hair, my heart steady for the first time in weeks. Later, as we mixed batter, he giggled, flour dusting his nose, and I felt a warmth I thought I'd lost. Clara was gone, not just from a house, but from my mind, my future. I would raise Liam, love him, shield him. He didn't need to share my blood to be my son. His laughter, his curiosity, his trust, they were mine, and no betrayal could take that away. As for Clara, she ceased to exist. Not in anger, not in pain, but in the quiet clarity of absence. Betrayal doesn't end in flames, it ends in stillness. That night, as I turned off the kitchen light, the house felt lighter, as if it, too, had exhaled. The truth had cut me open, but it had also set me free. I tucked Liam into bed, his small hand curled around mine, and I knew I'd build a life for us, steady, honest, whole. The final thought as I closed my eyes was simple. The thread I'd pulled had unraveled her world, not mine.